Disney. It takes a lot for me to get mad at a movie. I mean a lot. I usually can't call a film complete trash, mostly because I can find something genuinely enjoyable, or I can see what the director was trying to go for and I can usually brush it off. But this movie was different. Once this movie's credits were playing, I felt something I hadn't felt since The Last Jedi. Pure, confused anger. Just to have a little history, the original Pinocchio is my favorite Golden Age Disney animated film. It's quite amazing how much of a jump in quality there is from Disney's first animated movie to its second. Everything from the animation, the character designs, and the storytelling in general is better. The only thing is, Snow White had better music. So when Disney announced a live-action remake, I was actually really intrigued. But later on, once Robert Zemeckis hopped in the director's chair, my inner Spock started to talk.
Please, Spock, do me a favor, and don't say it's fascinating. No. But it is interesting.
Yeah, while Robert Zemeckis is a great director, the past few movies he's done is just okay, or they have not been great. I mean, yeah, he's Robert Zemeckis, Back to the Future, Castaway, Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump. But has anyone really watched his recent movies? I mean, it feels like he's kind of fell away. The Robert that did all of these movies is not the one that has done these. So to say that I had high hopes even going into this movie would be ridiculous. Even when Tom Hanks joined in on the cast, it felt like a marketing tactic. Not, oh, Tom Hanks is the perfect Geppetto. Even Joseph Gordon as Jiminy felt off. At the time, however. And you know that this was meant for a theatrical release, but they just dumped it on Disney Plus for whatever reason. Wonder why? So why is this movie bad to me? Well, before that, let's get into the good, because there are actually things that I genuinely enjoyed. First off, Joseph Gordon's Jiminy Cricket. It's perfect. I thought they had actually recast him at some point in the movie, because it genuinely sounds nothing like him.
He's asleep! Wake up! My friend's in there! Open up, you big blubber mouth!
So, good job with that. Another thing is the graphics. The CGI in this movie is fantastic. The shadows, the shading, and the overall CGI is excellently done. I mean, it did have over a $200 million budget, so yeah. What else? Oh, Honest John stole the whole movie. Seriously, Keegan-Michael Key gave it his all. Nearly every other performance in this movie is boring. But Keegan? He did a superb job. And actually, his rendition of An Actor's Life for me, I actually like it better than the original. I know, but I'm a sucker for big band song remakes, and with a more upbeat vibe, I genuinely enjoyed this version of the song better.
Hi diddly-dee, an actor's life for me.
Hi diddly-dee, an actor's life for me.
And this actually gets me excited with what he's got up his sleeve for Toad. But other than that, yeah, no, this movie doesn't know what it wants to be. I felt more and more confused and baffled at the decisions of this movie as it went on. Let's start with Tom Hanks' Geppetto. This is dumb. His performance is terrible on top of it. And anytime he yells, it just sounds like Woody.
You did all that in one day? You did all that in one day? Well done!
I don't know how a real person can turn in a more wooden performance than the actual wooden boy. Same goes for the rest of the people. Stromboli. He's sometimes mean, but he's nice at the same time, and it's not really like the switcheroo that they do in the original movie. I mean, he goes from being nice to mean to nice, and it just makes no sense in this movie. The Blue Fairy is in it for literally 2 seconds at the beginning and is never seen again. Lampwick, I think that's the best that this character can be, but the actor that portrayed him, his accent is just terrible in this.
We're on the corner. See, it got collected.
What I didn't realize either was actually Luke Evans is in this movie as the coachman. Luke Evans. Gaston. Yeah, he was bad in this movie too, with a boring performance and a cringe song to boot. There's this new character that sorta takes the spot of the Blue Fairy also, but it's mostly forgettable in my opinion and boring. All of these actors are actors that have done better jobs in other movies. Watch their better movies instead of this. With the CG characters, like I said, it's good here. The graphics are very good. But the thing that holds them back for me are the designs. To start with Monstro. This time, instead of a whale like in the original, it's a sea monster like in the original storybook. But it just felt off to me, like it should have been a whale like in the original cartoon. I don't know how to really describe my feelings on that, to be honest. Jiminy mostly looks like himself from the cartoon. Just a few more details. It's not entirely bad. But then we come to Pinocchio himself. I don't like this. While I guess it's kinda cool that they kept the original cartoony design, I just feel like it doesn't fit in this world to me. I think they should have changed it up a bit more and made it feel like he fit in the world more. His eyes are really strange too to me. Since it's a wooden boy and they're painted on, it's got this weird animated look to him. I don't know how to describe it, but it just looks creepy in a live action environment. It doesn't look cute, especially when they zoom in on the face. It just felt off to me and it doesn't really work. But let's talk about Pinocchio's character in this then, because nothing works here. In the original, Pinocchio is just like any regular naive boy. When Honest John convinces Pinocchio to do acting, he pays no attention to Jiminy later when he objects. In this one, Pinocchio is more of a victim of circumstance. His trials occur in this movie mostly for the sake of plot. It's never where Pinocchio is being naughty or his trial occurs because of his naughtiness. So he just genuinely listens to whoever comes along. Honest John in this one convinces Pinocchio to take up acting, but then Jiminy comes along and he says basically, now, go to school, and Pinocchio is just like, okay. They never once give Pinocchio a chance to make his own decisions or be a bad boy. So for instance, when it came to also with Pleasure Island, instead of Pinocchio wanting to go there himself, and once he's actually there participating in all the shenanigans of, smoking and drinking and being bad.
Being bad's a lot of fun, ain't it?
In the remake, he gets captured by chance and is almost forced into going, mostly just being scared of the coachman. Once actually at Pleasure Island, Pinocchio is disgusted at all the things that the kids are doing and almost throws up at one point. It's almost like he's being held hostage. And I understand replacing beer with root beer and cigars with candy. I understand that completely. That's not my complaint. But not having Pinocchio participate in any of the actions and just sort of sipping on the root beer in the corner, it makes the donkey transformation useless. There's a line in the original Pinocchio that the coachman says,
"Give a bad boy enough rope and he'll soon make a jackass of himself."
So that begs the question in the remake, if Pinocchio is not participating in Pleasure Island, why does he even get turned into a donkey?
Are you saying I'm stupid?
It makes no sense in the remake. Like I said before, instead of Pinocchio's actions leading to his own consequences, Pinocchio is the victim of circumstance and being in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's no lessons that he can learn here, which is the core of the original story. This movie just missed the mark completely with that. Zemeckis took aim and shot in the opposite direction of the target.
I've got it. Chris Pine.
What's the joke?
The other thing that really irked me was when they made Pinocchio into a superhero almost. Now I love Marvel movies, but this should not have come anywhere close. Pinocchio should not have powers like he does in this movie. Throughout it, there's these little, blue shimmers almost. Sometimes he'll be glowing blue like in the belly of the whale, and even when he's in the belly of the whale, he does a Black Widow style landing. I'm not kidding. And at the end of the movie, instead of Pinocchio sort of dying and the Blue Fairy's promise revives him and makes him real like in the original, in this one, Geppetto dies, and... I kid you not, Pinocchio possesses magic tears. Magic tears that resuscitates Geppetto. You can't make up writing this bad. And to top it off, they don't even give us a definitive ending. After Geppetto gets revived, they just kind of hug and walk off into the sunset. Jiminy Cricket then comes in, he's like, well, that's it. And Pinocchio, he maybe became a real boy, sorta. I don't know. Are you kidding me? How? How do you mess up an ending that bad? I'm usually up for a Disney remake. I really enjoy a good majority of them. Some of them have been bad, I will agree. But the others, I've really enjoyed the new songs or ideas that they add. But this one, it makes me scared for what's next. I'm really scared now for The Little Mermaid and Lilo and Stitch. I really do hope that Disney sees the backlash with this movie and they try better. Even a complete shot-for-shot remake would have been better than this. I don't know. Top Gun Maverick was better. Go watch that.
Hi, diddly-dee, an actor's life for me. A wax mustache and a beaver coat, a pony cart and a billy goat. Hi, diddly